The biggest battle we will ever have to face is the battle between you and you. It's the battle of taking your mind to that limit and then breaking through. On the Mindful Experiment podcast, we will share concepts, universal laws, and interviewing individuals who have done just that, who have gone through the dark times and through those moments allowed their light to shine bright. I'm your host, DrVic Manzo, and I want to thank you for listening to the podcast and taking this journey with me as we discover different avenues to break through those limits, expand your reality, and evolve into the person you desire to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Vic, and you are listening to The Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you on as we dive in each week. We've been really focusing on things and how we can help find inner stillness and peace, how to really get connected back with self, how to find peace through the storm, get into the eye of the storm, and so much more. There's been a lot happening in the world. Some of the world's starting to come back to normal. Some of it hasn't yet. And so wherever you are listening to this, I'm excited that you're on and we can dive in and go deeper and really grasp and get the pulse of what's happening. I'm not going to get too deep into COVID. There's a lot of things that I do. I spend probably about an hour a day on researching COVID, what's happening, the trends, looking at the patterns, the stories, and just trying to make my own, opinions and taking the facts and trying to figure things out. At the same time, I'm also getting the pulse of where people are. What's the fear meter? I wish we had one actually. But what is the fear meter? What are people worried about? What is the thought processes of people's life? And so this is kind of the going away, focusing more on people. And this is also in business. So if you're an entrepreneur going, this is not for me, stay tuned and listen, because this is stuff you're going to deal with in your business. These things come up in every fashion and form. Just because it's not in the business realm it may be in the business realm because of this, but if it's not affecting the business, but if you're going through this is just another example of how it plays a role. These are things that happen in life, and they happen in every sector of our life, and they always show up every single time. I shared a post about who looks forward to the dark times in their life. And a lot of people were like, no, I don't look forward to them, but I embrace them when they come. And I was like, it's a great way of sharing that. And I should change my verbiage around where when the dark times come, who embraces it, right? Because in life, you're going to face dark times, guys. This is life. You may say, I know life is hard. Life's not hard. There's nothing hard about life. The only thing is things that we consider to be hard is just time consuming. Maybe you don't understand something, so you have to spend more time to figure out how to learn about something, right? I remember when I was in chiropractic school, a lot of people, students sometimes would be like, and my classmates sometimes would be like, this is a hard topic, or this is a hard subject. And I'm like, nothing's hard in life. It's all about timing, right? When you think about developing a space shuttle to take us out into outer space, to create one, it's not hard, although you would think it is. It's really just timing. And so it's how you view and how you look at words and how you change the way you express and share the story will determine your outcome and what you experience. I know for myself, when this all started to happen, I said things in my life are going to massively explode. Things are going to happen in ways I never thought possible. Things that I thought would take years are going to happen fast. The reason why I said that is I wanted to change my verbiage to not look at this as something bad, but look at this to be something great. I've been through October 2008, 2009, where I had an investment property that my parents and I had to let go because of the market just totally not doing well and so forth. I've been through H1N1 and what that did and what the fear was behind that, Zika behind that. I've been through these different times. And the reason why I brought up the October part is because back then I had a thinking like, oh my God, people can't do this. I remember when I first started my business, people would tell me, people can't afford it right now. They're just struggling financially. The economy's not back yet, and this and that. And I would believe into that story and that narrative. Right. And it showed up in my business. And there's a lot of reasons why I had to go through the journey that I went through. But in this time of my life, it's a whole different ballgame. I see it in a different perspective. I see it in a different light. Now I look at things and I'm like, okay, how can we help people? Right? People are stressed. See, I'm not getting into my own world anymore. I'm looking at the world and saying, how can I be someone to help? And this is why my podcast has been the way it's been. If you've been a big follower and listening to it, subscribed for a long time, thank you so much. If this is your first one, thank you. Like it, share, review, let us know what you think. It really helps us for other people to discover and find the podcast. It's one of the things that, understanding that these things are going to come, but it's how you perceive it, how you define it. In one of my books called Rediscover Your Greatness, it was in the chapter 3. I talk about how words are the fabric to reality. And that really just how you define things is what you experience. I used to do this in health all the time. Didn't even know I was doing this, where I tell people that how you define your health is the experience of what you're going to have. So for example, if you think not being sick and, not having pain is considered to be healthy, or having good, blood work to show no disease, and that's considered to be healthy, well, then you're going to fall in that paradigm of what that means. Is it the best? I don't think so. But you're going to go into that paradigm of living that life where all of a sudden you're going to be very reactive, right? How many times does someone have great blood work and then 3 weeks later, 3 months later, they're diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, or they have a heart attack, or you get what I'm saying? This happens often. And so that's that reality. Then you can say, well, it's me eating well and moving well. Okay, then there's that reality that you're defining. And so how you define things determines your reality of what you're going to experience. So I bring all this up for a purpose. And that purpose is that, what are you going through right now in your life? How are you seeing the world? Have you lost faith in humanity? Do you think that it's just going to be all downhill from here? Where are you at? And I want you to take an inventory with yourself and really ask those questions. Where are you at with everything right here, right now? Because you want to see where you are, and then you want to feel how that feels. Okay, you want to feel those emotions, because it's going to give a gauge to let you know if you're in line with your higher purpose or you're not. Again, in one of my first book, I talk a lot about this, where it's all about aligning yourself. That when you use your emotions and I do this in my online programs, when you use your emotions as a way to guiding you, it will always tell you where you are. It'll always tell you where your thinking is. It'll always tell you if you're true on the path of where you need to be. Because your emotions, even though they react off your thoughts, but your emotions are your guidance system to your intuition. You'll get that feeling, and you have to train yourself with this, but you'll get that feeling. This is what I talked about in my second book called The Walk in the Dark, where I talk a lot about the intuition, how do you find that? What are things that are cues that let you get there? And how do you know you're in tune with that? Because there is this grand design, you call it the soul's blueprint is what people call it. And what that is before you came into this world, your archangels, your guardian angels, your ascended masters, your spirit guides, people who are family in your soul family, you designed a life that you as a soul wanted to experience. And then you pulled in the people who were going to help you, who had similar paths where you can learn from each other to help in this experience. I know this may sound crazy. There's a ton of books out in there. If you want them, just email me and I can tell you which ones that are great. But it's one of the things where your journey then, you chose every step of the way. One of the things and the most powerful thing that guides you along that path is your intuition. Your intuition is always connected to the soul. And so it'll always guide you and let you know where are you at along the path. And so that is something that you want to practice. This is a great time to start developing that. This is a great time to really take a moment and to feel your emotions and understand, where am I at? A lot of times your mind's going to fool you and think, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm very positive. I'm doing great here. Yeah, everything's good. I feel awesome, right? And you can go down that path and trick your mind to think that. You're telling yourself the story because you over and over and over, and you're telling other people over and over and over because you don't believe it. I learned this at a very young age, and it just took me time to practice it, though, where the one who speaks less is usually the one who's being, in the sense, like if I say something and I'm coming from truth and I'm coming from my essence, it's not going to be a long, elaborate statement. I do that a lot. If you notice, I do like to talk a lot because I like to give a full round picture of everything so you can grasp everything. But in the end of the day, though, like if it comes to, hey, am I really do I have fear? Do I have worry? Well, let me see. Am I trying to tell people and persuade other people that I'm not worried? Am I trying to tell myself that? Or is it just me, right? I remember, I'll share a quick story on this. I remember, so growing up for me, I grew up with a lot of drama. And it was just drama all the time. Nothing could be like easy. It was just always drama, and I'm not going to go into all the details. But when I finally was like, enough of the drama, I was done. I was sick and tired of it. 18, 19 years old, I was just done with the patterns of drama that I wanted to pull away. And as I was trying to discover myself when I went to school in Arizona, one of the things that one of my good friends, he was one of my best buds. Every time I would come back, I always tell him, less drama. I don't have these issues. Look at, man, I'm not doing it. He'd be like, dude, look at your actions. He's like, you're still creating drama. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Look what I'm doing here. And he's like, dude, you're still creating drama. You haven't changed. I'm like, no, don't be saying that to me. I go, I've been changing, dude. I'm really improving. And all I wanted was a little credit of the changes I was making. But he was trying to show me the overall picture that I haven't really made that many changes. Like, I'm just choosing different things and persuading myself. And it wasn't until I didn't pull away from this until probably 27, 28. He passed away when I was 25. But I'll never forget these conversations. He used to drive me nuts. But at the same token, he was there being someone to share with me and make me realize that you can't talk your way out of this one. And when I really understood that lesson, it didn't happen until a little later down the road, I started to realize that I have to be careful, and it started to make me be more mindful of what I'm talking and trying to persuade to create an image that I'm not. I need to do the work. And what I started to realize is I wasn't talking much anymore. I wasn't like saying, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to change as a person. This is who I am now. And that's the end of it. I would say that to myself because that's all I needed to tell myself. And so the message I'm trying to share with you is that when it comes to a change, sometimes you have someone who's your accountability partner that you want to let know, because I have some friends who I would let know, and they would check in from time to time. But at the end of the day, I was making the changes that I needed to make. I didn't need nobody's opinion. I didn't need no one to tell me if I was right or wrong. I was going to do the journey on my own, and I was going to figure it out, and I was going to figure out how I wanted to get to that level. And as I played around and practiced with this and trusting my intuition, it always guided me along that path. And I've grown so much in such a short period of time from that process, rather than saying, who do I need to be now? Here's who I am, because then I was resisting a lot. So I want you to be aware of these things. This is a great time to take an inventory for yourself and really look at where you are, your thought process, your emotions. What are you paying attention to? Are you getting a lot of arguments on Facebook? What are you doing that's distracting you and pulling away? And how do you feel? If you're not waking up every day feeling excited and energetic, even with everything going on, then you're allowing your external circumstances to control your internal. You choose happiness from the moment. That's why I don't like happiness, because happiness is really an external period. You can be extremely happy in one moment and then get a phone call and it can totally take it the other way. But inner joy or bliss, that is things that come from within. And so you got to find that joy and bliss in everything that you do. What is that? What does that look like? How are you playing with that in your life? And how are you expressing that? How well are you willing to commit to joy and bliss? That's a big one there. When it comes to changes and things you want to do in your life, how well are you ready to commit? Do you need help? Do you need someone to guide you along the path? Do you need a coach or some mentor, or someone along those lines? Look at the full picture and see where you're at and really take an inventory. Focus on your emotions and let me know where you're at with everything, because it's one of those, well, not myself, just let yourself know, because it's those things that are going to make the big change. And if you need support along the way, shoot me an email at drvic@poweryourrelay.com. I'm always here to help support. You can also reach out to us, on Facebook and Instagram, direct message us at Dr. Vic Manzo. I'm always here to support any way I can. And until next time, guys, I hope you have an amazing week. Be safe, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the podcast. For past shows, please visit www.empoweryourreality.com. I hope this show inspired you and added to your life to help you on the journey to rediscover who you really are. To connect with us on Facebook, please visit www.facebook.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. Check us out on Twitter. The handle is DrVic21. Follow us on Instagram, www.instagram.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. If you were inspired by the podcast, pay it forward by sharing it with someone who you know can benefit from it. Thank you again for listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast, sharing paths to help you rediscover your infinite potential.